Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Classical Languages K-10 syllabus launch of support. To begin, we would like to acknowledge that today I'm presenting to you from the lands of the Dharawal people. We recognise the Dharawal people as the ongoing custodians of the lands and waterways where we work and live. We pay respect to elders past and present as ongoing teachers of knowledge, songlines and stories, and extend that respect to other Aboriginal people joining us today. We strive to ensure every Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander learner in New South Wales achieves their potential through education. Thank you for your attendance at this afternoon's session. My name is Chanel Ingram and I am a Languages Advisor with the Languages and Culture team at the Department of Education. And today, my co-presenter, Alison Chow, and I will be providing you with an overview of what is available to support classical languages and Latin teachers. We will be focusing on how the syllabus is structured, key features of the syllabus, significant differences between the language-specific syllabuses and the classical languages K-10 syllabus, the resources and support available from both the Department of Education and NESA, and the QR code on the screen will take you directly to the Classical Languages K-10 syllabus on the Curriculum New South Wales website.
Just wait a second, Chanel, just to see if anybody wants to scan that.
Yep.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks, Kristen. Good afternoon. I'd like to begin by acknowledging that I am presenting to you from the lands of the Gadigal. So first, let's take a look at the key features of the syllabus that have been retained from the languages-specific K-10 syllabuses from 2003. They include a rationale and an aim, stage-based outcomes and content, including for life skills, outcome coding, and examples to contextualize content. There are some notable changes when comparing the Classical Languages K-10 syllabus with the former language-specific syllabuses. These include one framework for all classical languages with the same outcomes and content. This will support a collaborative approach to program. A central focus on texts. A focus on developing linguistic and literary knowledge and skills to encourage an overall appreciation of texts. More inclusive language to support students with disability. The inclusion of reflecting on language, culture, and identity. The omission of a prescribed list of vocabulary or grammar to allow teachers to customise their programs to their students' needs. And comprehensive teaching advice for each outcome. The central goal of the Classical Languages K-10 syllabus is understanding the target language and culture through texts. This is indicated with the red line in this screenshot from the syllabus, and it is taught through focusing on the two outcomes, understanding texts and intercultural understanding. Two focus areas, understanding texts and intercultural understanding, have their own related outcomes for Stage 4 and Stage 5, with their associated content dot points. These content dot points are considered essential learning in order for students to demonstrate achievement of the outcomes. And while they do not all need to be formally assessed, it is expected that each content point will be addressed at least once for each stage. When creating marking guidelines for assessment tasks and reporting on student progress, you may like to consider unpacking the outcomes more explicitly by referring to these content dot points rather than the broader outcomes.
Thank you, Alison. And finally, the syllabus is available in digital format on the Curriculum New South Wales website. Here is a quick video on how to access the syllabus.
To access the Classical Languages syllabus, go to the New South Wales Curriculum website. Scroll down to the learning areas and click on languages. And here you'll find all 4 new syllabuses. Click on classical languages and you'll find the digital version of the classical languages K-10 syllabus with all of its features. Here we have the outcomes, the content for all stages up to stage 5, advice on assessment, and also teaching and learning support. If I take you back to the outcomes for a moment, if you have this box here ticked, show aligned content, it will show you the outcomes in the box. So if you scroll across to stage 4, you can click on understanding text, and that will take you to the associated content dot points for understanding texts. And then if you scroll across to intercultural understanding, you'll see the associated content dot points for intercultural understanding as well. And you can do the same thing for stage 5 using the same process. To access the classical languages syllabus, go to the New South.
Sorry about that, everybody. Go ahead, Chanel, sorry.
Thank you. So this digital format also allows you to customize how you view and download the document. This short video guides you through downloading specific elements of the syllabuses for your individual needs.
So to download the digital syllabus, once again, we'll return to the New South Wales curriculum website and we'll scroll down to the learning areas and click on languages. We'll select the classical languages K-10 syllabus. And here you'll see there is a download view button, which will give you the options for downloading your version of the syllabus. Select the stage that you would like to have printed, stage 4 and or stage 5, and then which elements of the syllabus you'd like to print. You might only like to see the outcomes and the content. You might only like to see the teaching advice and the advice on assessment. Click on the download as Word button and you'll get a processing window like this, and then the document will be downloaded as a Word document to your computer.
You're on mute, Alison.
Thank you. When exploring the content in the classical languages syllabus, here are some important points to consider. The amount of content associated with a given outcome is not necessarily indicative of the amount of time spent engaging with the respective outcome. The content groups are not intended to be hierarchical. They describe in more detail how the outcomes are to be interpreted and used, and the intended learning appropriate for the stage. When considering the intended learning, teachers make decisions about the sequence and emphasis to be given to particular groups of content based on the needs and abilities of their students. Although there is scope for using communicative pedagogies when delivering the classical languages syllabus, communicating and interacting in the target language are not stated as an outcome or content point.
Thank you, Alison. So let's look at where you can find our support. The resources are published on our website, which you can access by visiting our webpage. The QR code on the screen will take you directly to the landing page. Click on the Planning, Programming and Assessing Languages 7 to 10 heading, and from there you can either click on the Latin tab, which will bring you to our Latin-specific support, or scroll down the web page until you see the Classical Languages K-10 Syllabus 2022 heading. Underneath this is where you will find our new support for Latin and classical languages. Alternatively, from the Languages K-12 page, you can click on Resources. From there, select Years 7 to 10 Resources Catalogue, which will allow you to browse through our resources, including classical languages. This will take you to the catalogue cards for our support. Don't forget that this session is being recorded, so if you'd like to revisit these pathways at a later date, you can watch the recording or access the resources with the QR code from the previous slide. Alternatively,
Sorry, that's the same slide, Chanel. I'm sorry.
okay, thank you.
There you go.
As part of our, oh, thank you, Alison.
Thanks, Chanel. As part of our Latin support, we've created a sample 3-year scope and sequence. This is the Stage 4 scope and sequence, which represents a year of learning for the 100 hours mandatory course. The Stage 5 scope and sequence spans 2 years or 200 hours for the elective course. Each term includes the expected duration of the topic, the learning overview, the outcomes to be assessed, the skills being learnt, and an assessment task. As with all of the support, this resource can be downloaded and modified to suit your context.
Thank you, Alison. We have also created student-friendly infographics of the scope and sequences for each year of learning, so the students can see their learning journey in a visual representation. These can be printed and provided to students or displayed in the classroom. These infographics have been created using Canva. An editable link to them is included in the scope and sequence document for each stage, so you can access and edit them to suit your context. And also the editable links to these infographics are being posted in the chat now.
Thanks, Janelle. So for Latin stages 4 and 5, we have created a series of sample activities. There is a sample activity for each term of stage 4 and 5, taken from the scope and sequences that we have developed. We've carefully selected these activities to reflect high-quality pedagogical practices, as well as provide some fun activity suggestions, which we'll unpack in the next few slides. For each activity, we've included a learning overview and the skill or skills the students are developing in the activity, suggested learning intentions and success criteria, and suggested teaching and learning activities. This sequence explains in detail how to deliver the activity and use the associated resource.
Thanks, Alison. So let's look at the resources. We have worked closely with Latin teachers to develop activities that are engaging for students and that demonstrate pedagogy to reflect the changes in the syllabus. Activities are described in the sample activities document and include an accompanying resource. Activities range from analysis of texts through the study of Roman graffiti, recognizing appropriate pronunciation and intonation when reading text, verb conjugation activities, to games like Running Reporter and Clutus.
Thanks, Chanel. Now, in this activity, Race to Draw, students work in teams to produce a visual representation of the Latin sentences they have been provided by their teacher. As you can see here, the students receive the instruction sheet and the answer sheet. In the For the Teacher section, teachers are provided with detailed instructions, the sample sentences to use, and a set of sample answers. As with all of the resources, this document is editable. So if you would like to use the activity, but it doesn't quite work for the content you are teaching, you can edit the resource.
Thanks, Alison. So let's look at programming guidelines. In addition to the scope and sequences and sample activities document and resources, we have created a programming guidelines document for classical languages. This document includes advice on programming, developing a scope and sequence using the backward mapping approach, and creating units of work. We have also included advice on assessment, both formative and summative, and reporting. There is also a Latin sample scope and sequence excerpt and sequence of learning included in this document that are in addition to the Latin specific resources already provided. We have also included information on maintaining a register to ensure compliance with easy to use checklists. NESA has also developed a number of documents to support the implementation of the Classical Languages K-10 syllabus, which can be found in the Teaching and Learning Support tab on the Curriculum New South Wales website. Click NESA. NESA support includes a sample scope and sequence for stages 4 and 5, a sample unit for stage 4 Latin and stage 5 for Classical Greek, advice on the nature of texts for different stages, including how their complexity can be gradually increased to prepare students for stage 6, and teaching advice for the outcome of translation for stages 4 and 5. That concludes our presentation of the Latin Resources and Classical Languages Support Package. We encourage you to take the time to explore the support that has been developed to assist you in the implementation of the Classical Languages K-10 syllabus. Thank you for your attendance at this afternoon's session. We will be seeking some feedback from you and your colleagues regarding our resources in the new year, so please stay tuned. We would like to open the meeting up for teachers to ask any questions, so please raise your hand and unmute your microphone if you have something you would like to ask.
I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, Chanel.
Thank you. So many people. Hello,
Yay.
everyone.